Here, paying college athletes. Well, that's been a long time debate, and many could argue and want to argue this might not be the right time to have that discussion. But as we see colleges across the country requiring their mostly black athletes to return without any concrete plans to protect them from the ongoing outbreaks, students are being backed into a bit of a corner here, having to choose between their health and their athletic scholarship. NBA champion Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors believes the time is now for the NCAA to stop what he calls a dictatorship. He joins me now. Good to see you, young fella. And I guess anybody could argue we're in a pandemic. We're in the midst of reform when it comes to social inequality. Is this a topic we need to be taking on right now? College athletes and compensating them. But you say these things go together. Why?
First off, thanks for having me. And I think these things go together for several reasons. Number one, as you just said, we have these athletes returning to these campuses. They're not offering them any health benefits, but they're having them return to campus and having these athletes make a choice on their future and the now. And, you're talking 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and you're making them make these decisions, most of which come from impoverished backgrounds. The only choice most kids are going to make is return to school because they don't know what that future looks like outside of going back to school. And so, it's the same thing that we've seen for years, the NCAA taking advantage of these kids who families don't have the funds to decide on another option. It's a very black and white thing. You have a lot of these coaches who aren't African-American making $6, $7, $8 million. And yet you have, I think it's 64% of college basketball players are African-American. And yet they're going out there, they're putting their lives on the lines. These coaches have benefits. They have every benefit that they possibly need. And yet, they're not the ones on the front line every day doing these workouts. Head coaches don't even show up much in the summertime. So it's the kids that are at risk. It's the kids that aren't being compensated. And, Senator Murphy and I, we plan to take this thing head on and try to move this forward because it's time that these athletes are compensated for what they're bringing to these universities and to the NCAA.
Draymond, I'm going to give you a chance here to respond to this because it's an argument you hear often, is they are being compensated. They are being compensated because they are getting a free education, which is worth something, certainly at a lot of these major universities where it can cost upwards of $200,000, $300,000 over a 4-year period to get an education. So address those critics who say that is compensation and we should be looking at that as something of value.
That is not compensation. You have a lot of students who go to school on academic scholarships as well. Those students are allowed to seek work outside of, the academics that they're doing at that school. Yet you have these athletes coming in who have the same academic commitment. They also have an even larger athletic commitment. They aren't able to seek work outside of the athletic and academic commitments, and yet they're bringing millions and millions of dollars to that school. So on the high end, what are you paying? $250,000 for a college degree? Schools make that at the gate of a game, 5 times that at the gate of any one game on a soft Tuesday. So that's not compensation. And also a lot of these scholarships, they're endowments. They're donations, as I am a donor of Michigan State. They're donations to the school that cover these kids' scholarships. So, that's the excuse they've used for years. But it's not flying anymore. We know better than that. We know that that's not compensation.
I want to make a shift here. I do have to ask you about an initiative that you're part of, along with LeBron James and others, the More Than a Vote initiative, trying to get more people engaged, more young people engaged, African Americans in particular, in the process. But you have to tell me here, Draymond, when was the last time you voted?
The last time I voted was 2008. I was 18 years old. I was extremely excited to vote. As a young black kid growing up in Saginaw, Michigan, the thought of having a black president and President Obama was never even, we never even thought that was an option, and so as a young 18-year-old, I was extremely excited to go vote for President Obama and help him get into office. That tune changed for me at 22. I thought, at 22, like President Obama will win again, I don't need to vote. At 26 in 2016, I'm kind of at a place where I'm saying my vote don't matter. We've now seen someone win the popular vote several times and not win the election. And I didn't understand the Electoral College. And so, that's something that I've had to go and educate myself on. And I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands and millions of other people, and specifically African Americans, who think the same thing. And so at More Than a Vote, we're just trying to educate, because I know, like I said, there are several others who had the same thoughts and ideas and beliefs that I had. And yet, the state of Michigan was decided by 10,000 votes. And, the studies show that African Americans did not show up to vote. And I think our lives are on the line right now. It's important that we educate ourselves and get out and vote when it's time.
Yeah, and your story is worth telling. I think a lot of people are that way, don't feel their vote matters or counts, and don't have that excitement, but it's still important to get out there. Well, Draymond, been with you the last 5 years for the NBA Finals. Hopefully, I'll see you back at the Finals next year.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, my man. You take care.
Good to see you as well.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.